You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's mixlr.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.
Welcome to the Hot Options Report, your premier source for insight into the fast-moving options market. Each day, we'll track down the products that are dominating the options chains and impacting your trading account. From Apple to VIX and everything in between, if it's lighting up the options tape, then you'll find it on the Hot Options Report. And now, get ready to scan the tape for the most explosive options activity on the street. It's time for the Hot Options Report.
All right, everybody, that music means it is time for the Hot Options Report. The Hot Options Report is brought to you by Public. Now, if you're listening to this show, chances are that you're pretty serious about options trading. So let me put something on your radar. Public. It's the most cost-effective way to trade options. That's because Public is the only platform that gives you rebates on your options trades. They also have some of the industry's lowest index options fees, whether you're placing single leg or complex multi-leg trades. Every dollar counts. Check out public.com/optionsbrief and discover the most cost-effective way to trade options. Again, the Hot Options Report brought to you by Public. Full disclosures in the podcast description. Let's dive right on in, kicking things off in the land of vol, as we like to do here. VIX options. Was it a hot day out there? The answer is no. We noticed this on the option block earlier today. Kind of light to kick off the day and never really caught up. 595,000 contracts on the tape in VIX land today. The ADV 721, so not quite the most active day out there. The hot option in VIX land, such as it was today, 55,000 of the August 16 puts. Not surprising, we'd see puts take the top spot when they are coming for vol out there today. Moving on to SPY. Was it a hot day in SPY? You know, interestingly enough, it was kind of quiet in SPY earlier in VIX earlier in the session, but SPY was pretty hot. SPY was well north of halfway to its ADV by the time we did the option block earlier today. Then it seems to have settled out by the end of the day, coming in a little bit shy of its ADV at 7.7 million. The ADV a little bit north of 8, about 8.1 million out there. So a decently active day, but not lighting the world on fire. SPY, the hot option out there today, was the 635 put. You don't need me to tell you it's expiring today, listeners. That went up 759,000 times. And if you paid less than half a buck for them, you're doing all right, because SPY went out 634.42, so right around 58 cents for those bad boys. So much zero-day flow, just dominated tape, nearly 1 million contracts just in these puts alone as we keep on rolling out to the S. The S, the last couple of days, has been exactly hitting its ADV. It's kind of strange. Yesterday, 3.65 million, and the ADV was 3.65 million. Today, that ADV has dropped to 3.63 million. We saw 3.63 million contracts exactly going up in the S. So 2 for 2 out there in the S. What was the hot option in the SPX today? It was the 6380 calls, going up 194,000 times today, which again, pretty active. Didn't quite close there. The S went out 63.35. So pretty far cry from the 6380 strike out there. So if you paid anything for those today, and you held them till the end of the session, unfortunately, not a winner for you today. Let's keep on rolling out to small caps. Was it a hot day in small caps? It was about what we'd expect. The ADV is 1.35 million, coming in slightly north of that at 1.4 million. The hot option in small caps, it was the 226 calls. So once again, a 0-day option topping the list in small caps after we saw for most of last week, the hot options in small caps were all August downside puts. Right now, it's near-dated upside calls, 226 strike. Unfortunately, if you paid anything for those today and you rode them till the close, then you went out an unhappy camper. Small caps went out right around 223.5. Listeners, to the Qs we go. Was it a hot day in NASDAQ? Also, the answer is slightly below our ADV. The ADV, 3.7 million. The Qs coming in 3.3 million contracts today. The hot option in the NASDAQ today was the 565 calls, going up nearly 300,000 contracts, 288,000 to be precise. And if you paid less than 33 cents for those bad boys, I guess you're happy because SPY went out, the Qs went out 565 and a third, listeners. All right, to the hot equity options for the day. We are in earnings season, listeners, so our top 10 on the equity options side has been pretty wild. Let's see what's making it in there today. Number 10, by the way, cost you 661,000 contracts to break into the top 10. It's almost 200,000 more than yesterday, so a pretty active day out there. And that gets us to Pfizer. Don't see Pfizer in the top 10 too often out there, but Pfizer making it into the top 10 today. 661,000 contracts on the tape. And before you get excited about Pfizer saying, hey, what's going on out there? It wasn't earnings season that drove Pfizer. No, Pfizer earnings aren't until August 5th. No, it went ex-dividend. So that's where all that flow is coming from. If you don't know what that means, by all means, check out some of our educational content like Options Bootcamp. We'll get you up to speed. So a little bit of fluff out there, but nonetheless, managing to break into the top 10. The hot option in Pfizer, 105,000 of the 23 calls in August, which makes sense. Stock went out 25 and a third. You know, if you like yourselves some ex-div paper, usually going to go in the money calls, and that's pretty much what we saw here. Number 9, this is an interesting one. Good old Goog, not Goog L, a.k.a. Class A, no. Good old Goog, a.k.a. Alphabet Class C. Don't see this one on the top 10 very often, or really ever, unless it's earnings season, which it was, of course, last night. Alphabet Class C, going out 193.20, putting up 662,000 contracts. So managing to sneak past Pfizer by 1,000 contracts. The hot option in good old Class C, 50,000 of the 195 calls. Again, went out 193.20. So need to do a little work to get there before the close tomorrow. Moving on to number 8, Apple. Once again, Apple coming pretty far down our top 10. 737,000 contracts on the tape for Apple today. The hot option in Apple today, 132,000 of the 215 calls, again, expiring tomorrow. Apple went out 213 3/4, so it's got a little ways to go to get there. Can it do it by tomorrow? I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Amazon, number 7, 795,000 contracts on the tape. The hot option in Amazon today, it was the 103,000 of the 232 half calls, which looked pretty good. Close within spitting distance of those, right around 232 1/4. Can it get the rest of the way there by tomorrow's expiration? I guess we'll find out as we keep on rolling to my old stomping grounds here in number 6, Intel. 807,000 contracts. They, of course, have earnings after the bell today, which is why there's so much flow going up. What was the hot option in Intel today? Doesn't look great for them. 47,000 of the 20 puts expiring tomorrow. So it seems like if past is prologue, folks are probably buying those and they're probably fading the earnings. Let's see if that was the right way to go. The stock closed down nearly $1 today, and looks like in the after hours they're down a little bit as well. It's like they're still digesting the number, so we'll find out tomorrow if those 20 puts are winner chicken dinners or not, as we keep on rolling to number 5, AMD. 837,000 contracts on the tape. The hot option in AMD today, 98, almost 100,000 of the 162 half calls. These also got within spitting distance. The stock closing 162.12 today, so got a little ways to go to get there by tomorrow. Can we make it? I guess we'll find out as we keep on rolling to number 4. Oh, how the mighty have fallen all the way to number 4. Open dominating our top 10 last week. This week, all the way down at number 4. I'm, of course, joking. That's still very impressive for this name, where the stock itself was an option trading 40-50 cents just a few weeks ago. Open closing today, $2.42, putting up nearly 1 million contracts, 975,000 contracts on the tape. And you know what? Folks aren't giving up the ghost. 138,000 of the 3 calls going up today. Let's hope for their sake. Looks like the average price on those about 18 cents. Let's hope for their sake they were selling those, because it doesn't seem like we're getting to 3 by tomorrow. Now, obviously, anything could happen. We could blow through that strike all the way back to 5, but given where the stock is right now and the momentum, you probably want to be sellers of those, hopefully covered or something else to protect you on that front. Don't want to be naked short units in open after all. Number 3, the other half of the alphabet equation, the usual name we see in our top 10. Good old Alphabet Class A, aka Goog L. 1.19 million contracts on the tape. The hot option out there, 100,000 of the 195 calls. Got a little work to do to get there. The stock closed a little bit north of 192. And then number 2, yes, I said number 2, it's NVIDIA. 2.25 million contracts. The hot option in NVIDIA today, 224,000 of the 175 calls. Also have a little work to get there. 173 3/4 is where the stock closed. So can we hit 175 by tomorrow? It's like the average price of those was around 55 cents. So stock needs to run a little bit to make that happen. Can we get there by tomorrow? We will find out as the number 1 most active equity option on the tape today. Probably no surprise if you've been paying attention to the market. Of course, it's Tesla. They had earnings last night. Not exactly great. The stock came in, sold off all the way down to right around the par strike, right around the 300 strike, before bouncing a little bit and closing a little bit north of 305, about 305 and a third. Obviously, EV demand hasn't been great. There's been a lot of other negative headlines around Musk and his companies, so not surprising some of that going to play into the earnings. Nearly 4 million contracts, 3.89 million to be precise. What was the hot option in Tesla today? Would it surprise you that it was a put? Probably not. It was the par puts, the 300 puts. Again, 216,000 of these going up today. Once again, where we close right now, if you paid anything for these, you got a little work to do for tomorrow. The average price on these looks like was $2.71. So they need Tesla to kind of fall out of bed a little bit tomorrow, close below, obviously, that par strike for all these puts to pay off. But yeah, wild stuff out there in Tesla. Were you trading Tesla today? Were you trading any of these hot names? Open, NVIDIA, Alphabet Class A, or Class C? Hit us up, let us know. And of course, we'll see you back here tomorrow for the final episode of the Hot Options Report for another wild week. Stay safe out there, everybody.
You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's mixlr.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.